At present, the battle for Chasiv Yar, apparently, is approaching its natural end. Under the constant pressure of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, Russian formations are gradually stopping the assaults. A few blocks in the southwestern part of Chasiv Yar remain under the control of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. So the battle for Chasiv Yar is not over yet. Russian troops will have to storm the western and southern parts of the city. As practice shows, this is not a quick matter. Therefore, for now, plans to attack Konstantinovka will have to be postponed. Dzerzhinsk still remains on the flank of the Russian armed forces, where fierce counter-battles are taking place. Trying to hold their positions in Chasiv Yar, the Ukrainian Armed Forces Command is transferring additional reserves to this section of the combat contact line. At the same time, the delay in the Russian Armed Forces offensive in Chasiv Yar and Dzerzhinsk allows Ukraine to build up its group in the Pokrovsk area. Meanwhile, judging by the situation developing on the left flank of the Pokrovsk direction as a result of the transfer of combat-ready reserves of the Ukrainian Armed Forces to this area, and in general to the area of the Pokrovsk-Mirnograd agglomeration, the conclusion suggests itself at the very least that Ukraine is trying, at the very least, to eliminate Russian advances to Novotroitskoy. At the same time, it is obvious that Ukraine is actively preparing for the spring-summer campaign, most likely hoping to stop the advance of the Russian armed forces into the Dnipropetrovsk region. Viktor Tregobov, spokesperson for Ukraine's Khortytsia Operational Strategic Grouping, described the situation on this section of the front as follows. Toretsk and Chasiv Yar are a long and grueling kind of hell. Urban battles have dragged on for months in both cities, nearly a year in Chasiv Yar's case. It's a daily horror, but these cities are holding on. Meanwhile, Russian State Duma Deputy Viktor Vodolatsky, who is under sanctions from the EU, the US, and several other countries for supporting Russia's invasion of Ukraine, claimed that as of early March, the battles in Chasiv Yar are no longer just for every residential building, but for every entrance and every floor.
The French publication Le Point released an issue with Donald Trump on the cover, captioning him as "the man from Moscow." The caption under the photo of the US president reads, "Putin and Trump, an alliance of predators." The publication hints at Trump's possible pro-Russian position and his ties to the Kremlin. This release has already sparked active discussion in international media and social networks. Earlier, Le Monde said that Zelensky has been the victim of an ambush. A disaster for Ukraine. A flagrant demonstration by the Trump administration. An icy wind towards Europe. A gift to Moscow. All these statements are justified when it comes to the clash between Trump and Zelensky in front of the cameras in the Oval Office, Le Monde assesses. The differences in priorities between the two leaders, unjustifiably demonstrated in public, have put Kyiv in a situation of unprecedented vulnerability in the Western Bloc, the publication adds, emphasizing the cracks in this bloc. Recall, Russian officials and Moscow's media outlets reacted with predictable glee to the dramatic clash between Volodymyr Zelensky and Donald Trump at the White House. Posting on social media, Dmitry Medvedev, Putin's deputy on the Security Council and former president, called the exchange a brutal dressing down in the Oval Office. He wrote, "Trump told the clown Zelensky the truth to his face, the Kiev regime is playing with the Third World War. This is useful. But it's not enough, we need to stop military support to Ukraine." There has been no comment so far from Putin, who has instead taken a back seat, likely watching the fallout unfold with satisfaction. "Putin doesn't have to say much right now," said a source familiar with the Kremlin's thinking. "It's clear that he enjoyed the show and now believes he can push for even greater demands in Ukraine." That meeting was a bigger victory for Putin than any of his military battles since the start of the war. Democratic lawmakers are discussing various options for protesting U.S. President Donald Trump's speech to Congress, which will take place today, March 4th. Several House Democrats told Axios about this. It is noted that some legislators are preparing props for Trump's speech: posters, eggs or empty egg cartons, a hint at the rise in egg prices in the U.S., pocket constitutions, a hint that Trump is violating the Constitution, as well as firecrackers and red cards. In addition, the Democrats said that protesters could be given ties in the colors of the Ukrainian flag. The option of a silent protest is also being considered, during which participants will not applaud Trump or react to his words. The publication emphasized that there is widespread disagreement among Democrats, both in Congress and outside of it, about what would be the most appropriate and effective form of demonstration against Trump. It is also possible that some lawmakers will leave the chamber after the U.S. president utters specific phrases that they find unacceptable. One House Democrat told reporters that Trump's criticism of transgender children crossed the line, and some lawmakers may walk out of the chamber to show their displeasure with the president. "There are definitely a lot of voters who really want the Democrats to disrupt the rally, and then there are voters who think it will only play into his hands," one Democrat told reporters. According to CBS News, Trump will deliver a speech to Congress on advancing peace agreements, border security, and the economy.